Good morning, everyone. This is our next little YouTube video. Starting to get more subscribers on our channel, so I want to put a little bit more interesting detail. This can be a very simple subject: Teflon tape, pipe joint compound, sealant, thread sealant, Teflon paste, different types of Teflon tape. I'll go through them and I'll explain to you what they are, and what application they might be used, and how I've used them in the past. Okay, this one I've never really used. I tend to use something else. This yellow one is a yellow Teflon tape, and it's basically used for gas. It's a little bit thicker. I'm not sure what makes it so different that it's used for gas, but that's what it's used for. When I come across gas connections, they don't tend to be under a lot of pressure like water. It tends to be over 50 pounds, going up to about 90 psi, depending upon you live in a city, suburb, out in the boondocks, whatever. Okay, well, that's that one. This is not one I use very much. I might have used it once or twice, but if I'm working on gas, I like pipe joint compound, which is one of my favorites by far. Okay, all Teflon paste is good on, per se, pipe threading off gas lines, stuff like that, if that's what you want. Okay, this is a very good company. They sell very good products. Oatey. I'm not even sure how you pronounce it. Okay, it's a Teflon paste. The next one here is a newer version of Teflon tape. Get to that one in a second. Let's try the original version of Teflon tape. This is just the white stuff. It's usually pretty thin. They come in different widths, and the skinnier ones are more for do-it-yourselfers, people that just need to grab something on the go. The wider ones are for people that are in the business. They need larger for dressing up pipes where the threads are wider. It's a little quicker, and you get a more even application using a wider Teflon tape than, per se, a skinnier one. Okay, most of the time you see skinny ones here when they come with a kit. Okay, this is pretty decent stuff. I'm not going to say it's all that old school, but some people might be considered old school. Now, this one here is called Mega Tape. I believe different manufacturers, and I've seen this around for the past few years. It's basically a Teflon tape that's usually a different color, and it's usually thicker. So you use less wraps with it around your threads. Okay, see if I can do this on camera as opposed to off camera. You want to thread your fittings similar to the way I'm showing you right now, in the direction of the threads. Okay, that would be a nice clean fitted. Oh, it's a little spur there. I almost got hit by that little spur. That would be a nice clean fitted dressing for the pipe to connect to gas valve or something like that, where you're running a gas line. This is an adapter. You try not to get the tape inside here because you don't know what you're using it on. You don't want the tape to clog up anything, so you try to keep it on the threads the best you can. If this were the white one, I would have wrapped it around probably a good 40 to 80% more, because this is so much thicker. I don't have to wrap it around as much. This is beginning to be a new favorite for a lot of people, the thicker stuff. Okay, and again here you can see it's a bit wider than the other one, than the white one. Hoping you can see that. Excuse me. Okay, the pipe joint compound is an old school favorite of a lot of people. I really like this stuff. I think a favorite for me is when I'm using compression fittings. I should have one here. Find one quick enough. Just see a second, please. Okay, where are you? No, of course, when I'm looking for one, I can't find it. I should have looked for it earlier. Either way, compression fitting usually has a brass ring that compresses around copper pipe. For the angle shutoffs, the angle stops in the bathroom, something like that. Sometimes they're straight stops, sometimes they're not. But this works really good. It allows you to apply more torque more evenly, and it doubles as a sealant. Okay, so this is nice stuff. So whenever I'm talking something down, I like this stuff a lot. Very good stuff. Old school favorite. If I had nothing else and I just had this and a cheap Teflon, I'd probably get by with most applications. Okay, there's something missing. Oh, I know where this is, over there. So this is definitely very good stuff. Where you need to talk something down, it helps you talk it down a little bit better. Over there it says, and lubricating threads, pipe connections. Okay. This probably works rather similar to this. I don't use this very much. Some people swear by this stuff, this Teflon paste. I guess it's up to you what you want to use. This is usually cheaper and works most of the time. Now this sealant is a little bit different. I've seen this when I first started over 20 years ago. A different company called Hercules. They had different ones. Blue Block, Leak Lock, and don't know if you can see there. That's been outside that bottle for a long time, and it's still tacky. It doesn't really get 100% hard unless through heat. If it's on a hot water steam pipe, something like that, it'll get hard. Basically, you put it on. That number 5 there is the slow dry soft set. So it stays pretty soft on most applications. Unless you're using on something that has some kind of heat or cold, it can make it get hard. Okay, this is an old school favorite of a lot of people. They like this stuff. In different applications, if you're a plumber, you're going to know when you're going to use this, when you're going to not. Most people are not going to use this stuff. You're supposed to put it on the thread, and you're supposed to wait 5 minutes for it to set before you put your connections together. A lot of people just put their connections together. They don't care. Excuse me. They really don't care. And I'm a little... got some in the middle there. Normally that wouldn't be the right way to do that. You're trying to just get it on the threads. Okay? And you wait 5 minutes. This will set a little bit, almost like chewing gum. Okay? And then you're supposed to put your pipes together. Helps create a seal. Okay? Pretty good stuff in certain applications. You have unevenness in a flange or something, this might help you get by. But you're going to need to get that flange even if you got any real pressure underneath there. Or you got high volume. This won't cut it as a gasket, but it might help. This one here is Plumber's Putty. And I know a lot of people right now thinking, Victor, this is not for threads. You're right, but I have it on the table since we're talking about sealants. And people say, where will it work as a sealant? A lot of people put this underneath a faucet. So when you splash water on your sink, it doesn't go underneath the faucet down. You think you have a leak from the pipe or drain or supply line, something like that. That's what this is good for. Also, if you have a sink strainer, the piece where the strainer goes into is called a basket. And a lot of times around there, it'll wear out. So you can just, without even having to loosen it up, you can just pop this in underneath on the sides and press it in with your finger. You can stop a leak. So this is really nice stuff. You can have a shoe that goes to a tub drain. That chrome piece usually in the middle where the drain goes down, usually on threads, and sometimes that'll leak. Happens to us here a lot, and we can put this, another bead of this stuff underneath it, and it works as a sealant. Okay, so it's good stuff having this around in your house. If I had to have, I would say this one or this one is fine. The white one is fine. Just wrap it around more times. Definitely some Plumber's Putty and pipe joint compound. These two I really don't need, but they are out there, and I just wanted to give you guys a visual. It's already starting to get tacky on there. Okay. Another way to use Teflon tape, which most people don't discuss, is to make it into a rope. If you're putting a stem inside a shower valve or a shower body, over here they call it a shower valve. Up north where I used to work, they used to always call it a shower body. So I guess I still get confused on that one. I guess it depends what area you're in. Even if you're overseas, they probably call it something else. You can actually take a piece of Teflon tape, and you don't have a gasket for your stem you're putting in the shower body, and you need to make a gasket. I can actually see if I can do this. Normally I would do it on my pants, but you can actually just roll it up like this. I usually just roll it on my pants instead of, but for illustration I'm doing it here by hand. And now you can wrap this around your stem and you have a gasket if you're missing your gasket. So that's another way to use Teflon tape a lot of people don't talk about. Okay, it's a really cool idea. It can get you out of a bind. Okay, putting a stem, diverter, or something in shower valve. Okay, what else do we got here? Coming down to the end. Another way to use Teflon tape. I've had problems before in the past where, probably I'm going to say about 10 years ago, but not lately, where sometimes this washer here fits here and you screw down the nut and it won't, no matter what you do, it leaked. That was about 10 years ago. Maybe it was where we were getting our parts from. They were just really cheap. They would leak here, and I had to figure out a solution pretty fast, because that was what I had, and I was there on the job. So I would take the Teflon tape and I would wrap it around to try to create a seal. Okay, I think you guys, I'm hoping you can see that. Just apologize if I'm messing anything up, but pretty much just make a seal around there. Okay, I went around the threads, I went around the lock washer, and I went around the pipe to try to make no air gaps. And then I would thread on my lock nut, and I would always work for me. That was something I kind of came up with on my own. I've never seen anybody do that, or anybody showed me that. I just came up on my own. I was working 10 years ago, and the pipes then that we were getting up north, they were not that very good. And I'm not sure if that was when we were switching over from brass copper pipe to PVC at the time. It might have been a little bit earlier than that. And this is one of the things that helped me seal that connection where it didn't leak. There's a couple different ways to test for leaks. Most people just run water. If you fill up the sink, you're testing it with more pressure, kind of like a swimming pool. When you go deep in the swimming pool, you feel more pressure on your head. With more pressure down the pipe, so you fill up the sink, and that's really the right way to test for a leak under pressure. Okay, and this you'll find works. It might save you if you have a leak. Okay. One last thing I want to show you is the oldest school I know. I'm only 55. I've only been doing plumbing over 20 years. I'm not a plumber. I'm not a plumber tech. I just handyman, super, service manager, my present location, chief super, other locations. I mean, I've done a ton of repairs. You usually don't find this anywhere. I'm not even sure if you can get this in the plumbing supply. I usually just go to the bodega, which is a Latin American little supermarket, and they sell this stuff to make pasteles, where you grind down the yuca and whatever it is, and you make your little paste, your little patties, and you wrap it up in wax paper, you tie it together. This is made out of 100% cotton. The oldest school I know, if something was leaking and I couldn't quite get it right, the threads were not right, whatever it was, I would actually take this thread over here. See if I have a small piece, because this has been in my box for a long time. I break it off like that, and I wrap it around the threads. Okay, something like this. Excuse me. Try to fit it in each slot, something like that. Okay, I'd wrap it around more, and then I would put some pipe joint compound. The one I told you is my favorite here. I'd put that on there on top of that. And what happens is when you put your pipes together, if any water starts to leak, the thread will start to swell. And it actually creates a really nice professional sealant. That is the oldest school I know, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. There's a lot of ways to skin this cat, so not necessarily everything I'm showing you here is proper or the way you would do it. If you want to share your comments below, what you think I left out, what I'm missing, or how you do things, go for it. I'll see you guys at the next one, right? Bye.